Clemson, they have a Derrick Henry. I mean, it's kind of crazy when you look at the physical stature of Adam Randall versus Derrick Henry. The height, the weight, the speed. But one has something that the other one doesn't have. The receipts. Now, of course, I'm not knocking Adam Randall. In fact, I'm pulling for him. But I'm going to talk about how both of these guys actually have pretty much the same physique, the athleticism, and maybe, just maybe, this is the chance that young Adam Randall has been looking for. But first, welcome to the channel. I'm glad you're hanging out with me here talking Clemson football. I hope you'll subscribe if you like Clemson. This is your channel. And if you like someone who's independent, this is your channel as well. I hope you'll hit the subscribe button. I'm going to raise up my chair because I'm too low. I feel I look like a kid. But I hope you'll pass it along as well. So I cannot remember where I saw this, but in full disclosure, I was on Instagram and I was looking just scrolling. But I see a lot of college football news on Instagram. I also see a lot of Clemson stuff on there. And someone, and I cannot remember who it was. In fact, I went to find who it was because I just wanted to give them credit. Ask the question, is Adam Randall Clemson's Derrick Henry? And at first I went, no. Now, in full respect of Derrick Henry, he is hands down one of the best high school football players to ever play the game. Go look at his Florida stats. Look at all the records he broke. Look at how dominant he was in Florida, not in Idaho, not in North Dakota or Delaware. I'm talking about Florida. One of the top producers of outrageous high school football talent. You know, Florida, Georgia, Texas, California. Those are the biggies. There's where a lot of talent comes out of. But as I got to thinking about it, I went, whoa, hold up. Even if the person who created this Instagram post was doing it just to have content, which, by the way, if you're a YouTuber, right now you're thanking the Lord that we're finally getting to the college football season. Because I'm tired of talking about potentials. I'm ready to talk about the game, actually what is happening, the results of an actual in-game season. So, I'm guilty as well. With that said, I pulled up Derrick Henry and Adam Randall side by side. Now, here's a recap for all of us Clemson fans and non-Clemson fans, people who don't know this. But Adam Randall was a highly recruited player out of Myrtle Beach. The guy was a 4-star according to 24/7 Sports. I want to say someone had him rated a 5-star, but this guy was a 4-star coming out of Myrtle Beach. But injury has plagued this young man. And when I heard that Clemson was going to put Adam Randall at running back, the first thought that I had for him, and I'm thinking of this as a dad. My oldest is 18. In fact, in a few weeks, he'll turn 19. As I've gotten older, you know how it is. Your perspective changes. I thought about this from a dad standpoint going, man, if that was my boy and he had that much trouble with staying healthy, it's almost just like he has an omen over him. And now you're going to put him at a position that gets hit more than anyone except for the offensive and defensive line. This just doesn't sound too good for Adam. But maybe this is the redemption the young man's been looking for. Now, I can't remember all of his injuries. Some of you, maybe you do. I can't remember if he was the player who was getting out of the car, and I can't remember what happened, but when he stepped out, something popped or pulled or whatever. For some reason, I thought that was Adam Randall. It may not be. So take that with a grain of salt. But if that is true, how can you knowingly put a guy who has just suffered with injuries at running back? But we saw what he did against Texas. I know it was one run, but that was a good Texas defense. That was a Texas defense that had stifled a lot of really good talent. And he peeled off a 40-yard run. We saw the play against SMU that set up the incredible field goal by a true freshman after a lead was blown. But hey, we have a new defensive coordinator this year. So hopefully that scenario won't happen. Hopefully Clemson will be piling on instead of getting ahead only to lose a lead. With that said, Adam Randall brought the football out of the end zone and had an incredible return. And if you notice the speed that young man has, it's ridiculous. On the other hand, Clemson's offensive line has dramatically transformed since Matt Luke got there. Now, we could say, hey, they haven't had as many injuries. You could say they have players who are tenured and they have experience. I get that. But in between Clemson's last national championship and up until Matt Luke got there, Clemson could have guys that had experience and they still struggled blocking in a consistent, proficient way. You know it, I know it, and anyone who watched Clemson football knows it. Hence, Matt Luke is there. But you add in that Clemson returns 4 out of 5 offensive linemen. On top of that, one of them is a projected first-round pick, according to some people. But the offensive line is really good. Go read Phil Steele's preseason evaluation. That in itself helps Adam Randall. Because you could put just a solid back behind this offensive line, in addition to all the weapons, the wide receivers, that are the wide receivers, and the defense has to respect it or else you'll get burned. And you have a quarterback who can run. You have a quarterback that can throw a missile. It opens it up for Adam Randall. Now, I'm not saying that Adam Randall is the starting running back for Clemson. In fact, I said in one of my last videos that I truly believe that Adam Randall will be part of one of the running backs by committee. One of you asked me in the live stream last week, you said, hey, who do you see him being the running back? And I said, hey, I would see them starting Adam Randall on paper. But Clemson has a body and a skill set for every situation. You need to pound the rock. You give it to Keith Adams Jr., potentially Easy E. You could definitely give it to Adam Randall. And don't count Gideon Davidson out of that. But if you want finesse, Gideon Davidson gives you that as well. So let's talk about, and in fact, let's look at the comparison of physically Derrick Henry and Adam Randall. And when you see this, obviously Derrick Henry is heavier than Adam Randall. But look at that, 6'2", 252 pounds. This guy, just a freak of nature. And look at this. This guy, since being drafted back in 2016, you saw the numbers he put up last year. Almost 2,000 yards rushing in the NFL. Just a bear of an athlete. What a freak. I mean, I'm just sitting there staring at his numbers. It's ridiculous. So 6'2", 252 pounds. He makes NFL players who are big look ridiculous because he'll just run right at them and punch them in the face and keep running. They can't do anything. They're like, we're in the NFL. You don't supposed to do that. What you just did to me. And he's like, yeah, I could care less what you think I should do. Look at Adam Randall, 6'2", 230 pounds. Others have him listed at 6'3", 230 pounds. 4 carries, 44 yards. Now, here's what I want to look at with Adam Randall. He does not have to carry the team on his back. He doesn't. I mean, he doesn't have to carry the team on his back, and that is good news. This guy who has suffered with injuries, this guy who is just playing running back for the first time in college, other than that 4 carries he had in the Texas game. Okay. But what I am saying is that this guy is going to, against Clemson's schedule, you look at Clemson's schedule, this guy could definitely sit at the table and eat. Troy, he could definitely take down Troy. He could be a problem for LSU. Again, he doesn't have to carry the team on his back. In fact, Clemson can shuffle running backs in and out every play as much as they want to, and they have a fresh set of legs. That's what a lot of people is missing with this Clemson football team. Now, whether Garrett Riley and Dabo is going to do that, I don't know. I think they will. I think they have 4 legitimate running backs that they could run at any time. And Adam Randall is one of them. So I would put him in the backfield against LSU. Run him a few times. Throw in Eazy-E. Throw in Keith Adams Jr. Throw in Gideon. You just have a fresh set of legs the entire flipping game. And they're all different body sizes. I cannot stress that enough. He could definitely have success against Georgia Tech. Folks, I've had some of you say, you're overlooking Georgia Tech. My goodness, I had a Georgia Tech guy on here, and I talked about that's a game I'm not overlooking. He could do well against Georgia Tech, Syracuse, Duke, and of course in the big games too. But I'm just saying, this guy with this offensive line and all the supporting cast around him and in his own unit, I think can prove to be a handful for opposing defenses. And my biggest thing is I just hope for him as an individual. Forget Clemson, forget all this bunch of stuff. I just hope as an individual, hope he can stay healthy, because I think that if he can, and they use him in a good way, also get him out in the flats. Can you imagine a mismatch on this guy? And he's fast. A lot of people, if you don't know Adam Randall that well, he's extremely fast. So you have a guy at 6'2", 6'3", 230 plus pounds that can run, not for a big guy, but can actually fly. Oh, that's an offensive coordinator's dream. Let's get to the comments section. Roger Parks, all in. I'm all in. It's good to see Roger Parks. Also, he supports the channel on a monthly basis. So $3 or $5 per month. There is a join button below this video. So I hope you'll go check that out. He looked pretty good, but that's a very small sample. If we're making that comparison based on size and build, then yes. That was Ngata. Yeah. Ngata was a big dude, or is a big dude. Remy Gregory, love the show. Good to see you. Good to see you in here. Trevor Porter, if the O-line can set him up well, I honestly have no concerns with Randall at running back. He runs great in space. Listen, again, that space will be created when opposing defenses, no matter who they are, LSU, South Carolina, Louisville, all the way down to Furman, who plays the next to the last game of the season against the Tigers. They're going to have to respect all of these weapons. The premier offensive line, according to Phil Steele, top 3, top 2 offensive lines in the country. My, how things have changed. A quarterback who is a third-year starter, who's done nothing but get better. This is just going to open it up for any running back, but especially for this guy. Jake Wanamaker. Hey, Brian, I think the sky's the limit for this team. Go Tigers. I think so. I just hope they do. do what they're supposed to do. Why are you overlooking Georgia Tech? That is so funny. I love this. I love this. You know someone's talking trash all the time. We may have 2 guys close to 1,000 rushing yards by the end of the season. Jay Haynes is going to be very good too if he's ready. And that's the thing about Jay Haynes. Let's not rush this. I mean, I know you don't want to miss another football season, but let's not throw a guy out there and he blows his knee out and he's done, like done. I hope not. There's no, with this supporting cast, there's no reason to do that to that young man. SEC dog, my favorite Georgia Bulldog trash talker. I guess Tyler from Spartanburg has settled down with no new results. All of a sudden, like a fart in the wind, Taters is back. LOL. You know, SEC dog, normally I'd get a little irritated with that, but because it's you, bravo, my friend. You used fart in the wind in a perfect way. Nothing but respect. Nothing but respect. You're killer, man. You're killer. All right, folks. How will Adam Randall do at running back? Remember, as you're about to type that comment, remember, he doesn't have to carry the team on his back. You have the offensive line. You have all the weapons. The defense has to guard someone. The defense has to guard someone. The defense has to potentially, according to what they're running, has to overlook someone. Someone gets lost. Think about this. You have Moore. You have Wesco. You have Williams. You have Smith. You have and/or Tyler Brown out there. You have Bettenker, who's extremely talented. Everybody's overlooking him. A highly recruited tight end. You have Sapp. You have Ian Shefflin, who people would just pay attention to him because he's 6'8" coming out there. You have to respect the running ability of Cade as well as his arm. I mean, this is year 3 for him, and he's been playing since he was a freshman. 2. He started playing more. We all remember that. But would you not overlook the wide receiver turn running back? If I had all of that to cover out there and I had to make a choice, I would. Because you know Moore is going to, if Moore ends up wide open, Wesco ends up wide open, Antonio Williams ends up wide open, the 6'8" basketball player turned football player ends up wide open. People are going to be looking at you going, did you not account for them? Especially the first 3 people I named out. Oh, you've got to worry about Cade scrambling. I'm just saying, folks. This could work out very well for him. Let's get in here. I'm really rooting for Adam. He only has 500 yards, and I hurt for him. Best pass catching RB in the country. If Adam ends up the main guy in the backfield, he can end up with 1,500 all-purpose yards. I hope the sky's the limit for this guy, and I hope that they use him in every way they possibly can. So anyway, tell me your thoughts in the comments section. Also, just wanted to let you know about another college football podcast. The link is under this video. It's my new channel. Almost 200 subscribers. It's a brand new channel, and I am covering other college football teams. In fact, I just reviewed the South Carolina Gamecocks, and I had a little fun, but I was fair to them. I will tell you this. Everyone's talking about Sellers, and they should. The guy can play. But they lost a ton of big-time players on their defense. I'm talking about a ton. I was shocked. Everyone's talking about Dylan Stewart, as they should. But I'm telling you, you need to go check out that video. Also, the Chicken fans, they're getting, even though I said that they would win 8 games this year, I feel like 8 games would potentially be the whole thing. Chicken fans are upset that I would ever say 8 wins. I mean, apparently, Eamon and Kennard and Tonka Hemingway and all of them boys, I guess they were not that good. And the guys behind them was just even better. But anyway, if anything, please go read the comment section. Check it out, and I hope you'll subscribe. Pass it along.